Top 5 fruits for diabetics you must eat. What if I told you that some fruits can actually help lower blood sugar instead of raising it? You've probably heard that diabetics should avoid fruit, but that's a huge myth. The truth is, apples, strawberries, jamun, grapefruit, and kiwi can either be your best friends or worst enemies depending on how you eat them. So which ones can actually help control diabetes and which ones should you be careful with? Stick around because we're not just answering that. We're busting some of the biggest fruit myths you've ever heard. First on list, apple. All right, let's talk about apples and diabetes. If you have diabetes, you've probably heard mixed opinions about fruit. Some people say apples are too high in sugar, while others swear they're a diabetes-friendly superfood. So what's the truth? Should you eat apples or are they off limits? Stick around because you might be surprised. Think about it. Apples are one of the most widely available and affordable fruits. They come in different varieties from sweet to tart, and they're packed with nutrients. But the big question is, do they spike your blood sugar? The answer, not really. Apples actually have a low to medium glycemic index, GI, usually around 36 to 40, depending on the type. That means they release sugar slowly, preventing those sudden spikes that can lead to energy crashes or insulin resistance over time. And here's the best part. Apples are loaded with fiber, especially pectin, which has been shown to improve gut health, support digestion, and even help lower cholesterol. But more importantly, for people with diabetes, fiber slows down the absorption of sugar, keeping blood glucose levels more stable. That's why whole apples are way better than apple juice, which lacks fiber and can cause a quick sugar spike. But it doesn't stop there. Apples are also rich in polyphenols, which are powerful plant compounds that help improve insulin sensitivity. Some studies even suggest that polyphenols in apples can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes by supporting the pancreas in producing insulin. In simple terms, apples don't just help with blood sugar control, they might actually support your body's natural insulin function. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Apples still have sugar, right? Yes, they do, but it's natural sugar, and when combined with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, it acts differently than refined sugar. Unlike processed carbs that flood your bloodstream with glucose, apples provide steady, long-lasting energy while reducing inflammation and protecting your heart. And speaking of heart health, did you know that people with diabetes are at a higher risk of heart disease? That's where apples shine again. They contain flavonoids like quercetin, which help reduce blood pressure, fight oxidative stress, and support cardiovascular health. So by eating apples, you're not just helping your blood sugar, you're also protecting your heart. Now let's talk about how to eat apples the right way. Pairing apples with protein or healthy fats, like a handful of nuts, Greek yogurt, or some peanut butter, can further slow sugar absorption and keep you feeling full longer. And if you're wondering which apples are best, go for green apples like Granny Smith. They have less sugar and more fiber compared to sweeter varieties like Red Delicious. So, should you eat apples if you have diabetes? Absolutely, but in the right way. Stick to whole apples instead of juice, eat them in moderation, and pair them with protein or healthy fats for the best blood sugar balance. They're a nutrient-packed snack that supports digestion, heart health, and insulin sensitivity, all in one crunchy bite. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you eat apples regularly? Have you noticed any effects on your blood sugar? Drop a comment below. Myth: fruit juice is just as healthy as whole fruit. False. Even if the juice is labeled as 100% natural, fruit juice lacks fiber, which is essential for slowing down sugar absorption. When you drink fruit juice, the sugar hits your bloodstream quickly, causing a rapid spike in blood sugar levels, just like soda or other sugary drinks. Second on list, strawberries. All right, let's talk about strawberries and diabetes. If you've ever wondered whether these sweet, juicy berries are a good choice for blood sugar control, you're not alone. Some people worry about the natural sugar in fruit, while others claim strawberries are a diabetes-friendly superfood. So what's the truth? Should you be eating strawberries or should you avoid them? Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. First things first, strawberries may taste sweet, but they're actually one of the lowest sugar fruits out there. A whole cup of fresh strawberries has just about 7 to 8 grams of natural sugar, which is far less than a banana, mango, or even an apple. Plus, they have a low glycemic index, GI, of around 40, meaning they won't cause sharp spikes in blood sugar like refined carbs or sugary snacks. Instead, they release glucose slowly, helping your body manage insulin levels more effectively. But here's where strawberries really shine. They're packed with fiber, especially in their tiny seeds. Fiber is a game changer for people with diabetes because it slows down sugar absorption, keeping blood sugar stable and preventing those energy crashes that leave you feeling tired and sluggish. And since fiber also helps with digestion, it can improve gut health, which is super important because a healthy gut is linked to better blood sugar control. And it gets even better. Strawberries are loaded with powerful antioxidants like anthocyanins, which reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and even help lower the risk of heart disease, a major concern for people with diabetes. Some studies even suggest that anthocyanins help regulate blood sugar levels after meals, making strawberries a great choice, especially when paired with a balanced diet. Now, I know some people hear the word fruit and immediately think sugar, but the difference is strawberries come with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants that actually support your health rather than work against it. They're an incredible source of vitamin C, which boosts immunity, helps with skin health, and even plays a role in reducing inflammation, something that's super important for anyone managing diabetes. And let's talk about practical ways to enjoy strawberries without worrying about blood sugar spikes. The best way? Pair them with protein or healthy fats like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a handful of nuts, or even some dark chocolate. This slows digestion even more and keeps blood sugar levels steady. And if you're thinking about smoothies, just be mindful of portion sizes and avoid adding extra sugar. Strawberries are naturally sweet enough. So should you eat strawberries if you have diabetes? Absolutely. They're low in sugar, packed with fiber, loaded with antioxidants, and great for insulin sensitivity. The key is to enjoy them in their whole natural form and pair them with other nutrient-rich foods for even better blood sugar control. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you eat strawberries regularly? Have you noticed any impact on your blood sugar? Drop a comment below. Myth: eating fruit at night raises blood sugar more than during the day. False. Your body processes food based on total carbohydrate intake, fiber, and overall meal composition, not just the time of day. However, eating high-carb foods at night before bed may affect overnight blood sugar levels, especially if you don't pair them with protein or fats. Third on list, Jamun, Java Plum. All right, let's talk about Jamun, also known as Java Plum, and why it's considered one of the best natural remedies for diabetes. If you've ever heard that Jamun can help control blood sugar, you might be wondering, is it really true or just another health myth? And if it does work, how should you eat it to get the most benefits? Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. First off, jamun isn't just another fruit. It's been used in Ayurveda and traditional medicine for centuries as a powerful tool for managing diabetes. But what makes it so special? Unlike many fruits, jamun is extremely low in natural sugar and has a very low glycemic index, GI, usually around 25 to 30. That means it releases sugar into the bloodstream very slowly, helping to prevent sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Jamun contains a special compound called jambaline, which has been studied for its ability to slow down the conversion of starch into sugar. In simple terms, it helps regulate glucose levels naturally, making it easier for your body to process sugar more efficiently. Plus, the seeds of jamun are packed with alkaloids and flavonoids, which help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce insulin resistance over time. But it's not just about blood sugar control. Jamun is also a superfood for overall health. It's loaded with antioxidants like anthocyanins, which help reduce inflammation, protect the pancreas, and support heart health. And since diabetes often increases the risk of heart disease, having foods that support both blood sugar and heart function is a big win. Now, if you're wondering how to eat jamun for the best results, the best way is to enjoy it fresh when it's in season. You can also use jamun seed powder, which is widely used in Ayurvedic medicine. Simply mix half a teaspoon of jamun seed powder with water and drink it on an empty stomach for maximum blood sugar benefits. Some people also make Jamun juice, but it's always best to avoid adding extra sugar. So should you eat Jamun if you have diabetes? Absolutely. It's one of the best fruits for naturally balancing blood sugar, improving insulin function, and supporting overall health. Whether you eat the fresh fruit, use the seed powder, or drink it as juice, adding Jamun to your diet can be a game changer for diabetes management. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you tried Jamun before? Have you noticed any difference in your blood sugar levels? Drop a comment below. And fourth on list, grapefruits. Let's talk about grapefruits and diabetes. If you've ever wondered whether this tangy, refreshing fruit is good for blood sugar control, you're not alone. Some people swear by it, while others worry about the natural sugar content. So what's the truth? Should you be eating grapefruit if you have diabetes? Grapefruit might taste sweet and slightly bitter, but here's the surprising part. It's actually one of the lowest sugar fruits you can eat. Half a grapefruit contains just about 8 to 9 grams of natural sugar, which is much lower than bananas, grapes, or even apples. But what makes grapefruit truly special is its low glycemic index, GI, of around 25, meaning it releases sugar into your bloodstream very slowly, keeping blood sugar levels stable. That's a big deal for diabetes management because avoiding sudden sugar spikes is one of the best ways to keep insulin levels in check. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Grapefruit contains a powerful compound called naringenin, which has been studied for its ability to improve insulin sensitivity and help your body use glucose more efficiently. In simple terms, naringenin helps your cells absorb sugar better, reducing insulin resistance over time. Some research even suggests that grapefruit works similarly to certain diabetes medications, helping regulate blood sugar levels naturally. But it doesn't stop there. Grapefruit is loaded with fiber, antioxidants, and vitamin C, which means it's not only great for blood sugar, but also helps reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and support heart health. And since diabetes increases the risk of heart disease, eating foods that protect your heart is just as important as managing blood sugar. Plus, the fiber in grapefruit slows digestion, which means you stay full longer and avoid unnecessary cravings. Another major win for people trying to maintain a healthy weight and control diabetes. Now, you might be wondering, how should you eat grapefruit for the best benefits? The best way is fresh, in its whole form, rather than as juice. Grapefruit juice lacks fiber and can cause blood sugar to rise more quickly, so stick to eating the fruit itself. You can have it on its own, mix it into a salad, or pair it with a source of healthy fat like avocado or nuts to slow down sugar absorption even more. But one important thing to keep in mind, grapefruit can interact with certain medications, including some diabetes and blood pressure drugs. So if you're taking medication, it's always a good idea to check with your doctor before adding grapefruit to your diet. So should you eat grapefruit if you have diabetes? Absolutely, as long as it doesn't interfere with your medications. It's low in sugar, packed with fiber and antioxidants, and can even help improve insulin sensitivity. Just remember to eat it whole, in moderation, and pair it with other healthy foods for the best blood sugar balance. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you tried adding grapefruit to your diet? Have you noticed any effects on your blood sugar? Drop a comment below. Fifth on list, kiwi. Let's talk about kiwis and diabetes. If you've ever wondered whether this small, fuzzy fruit is a good choice for blood sugar control, you're not alone. Some people assume that because it's sweet, it must be off limits, but the truth might surprise you. So should you be eating kiwi if you have diabetes? Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. Kiwis may taste sweet, but they're actually one of the best fruits for blood sugar management. First off, they're low in natural sugar, with just about 6 grams per fruit, which is much lower than bananas or grapes. And even though they contain sugar, they have a low glycemic index of around 50, meaning they don't cause rapid spikes in blood sugar. Instead, kiwis release glucose into your bloodstream slowly and steadily, making them a smart choice for people with diabetes. But what makes kiwis even more special is their high fiber content. One kiwi packs around 2 to 3 grams of fiber, and here's why that matters. Fiber slows down the digestion of carbohydrates, which helps prevent blood sugar spikes. It also keeps you fuller for longer, reducing cravings and unnecessary snacking, which is a huge plus if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight. And let's talk about the powerful antioxidants in kiwis, because this little fruit's loaded with them. Vitamin C, polyphenols, and carotenoids work together to reduce inflammation, protect the pancreas, and improve insulin sensitivity. In fact, some studies suggest that regularly eating kiwis can help lower HbA1c levels, which is a key marker for long-term blood sugar control. So in simple terms, kiwis aren't just safe for diabetes, they can actually help support better glucose metabolism. Now you might be wondering, how should you eat kiwis for the best results? The good news is, you can eat the entire fruit, including the skin. That's right. Kiwi skin is completely edible and packed with even more fiber and antioxidants. If you're not a fan of the texture, you can scoop out the flesh or add sliced kiwi to yogurt, salads, or smoothies. And if you pair it with protein or healthy fats, like nuts, seeds, or Greek yogurt, it slows down sugar absorption even more, keeping blood sugar levels even more stable. So should you eat kiwi if you have diabetes? Absolutely. It's low in sugar, packed with fiber, loaded with antioxidants, and can actually help with insulin sensitivity. Just remember, whole kiwis are best, and it's always a good idea to pair them with other nutrient-rich foods for even better blood sugar control. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more diabetes health tips. And don't forget to share this video with someone who needs it. See you in the next one. Stay healthy.